Has any of the Intercan staff been seconded to the MPO?
Yes, we have a number of staff. I think there are 4 that are seconded to work in the MPO.
All right. And did any of the projects referred to the MPO have outstanding Intercan permits?
The Department of Natural Resources' primary responsibility for regulating activities is under the Explosives Act. So at this point in time, I don't know whether or not there are any projects that had any specific outstanding explosive permit applications.
And was Intercan asked for input in any of the MPO referral lists?
Most certainly. So the Department of Natural Resources and Fisheries and Oceans and Transport Canada, Privy Council Office, Infrastructure Canada, all of the departments that have a significant amount of work that would contribute to an assessment of a project, whether it's economic or whether it's regulatory or whether it's Indigenous participation or Indigenous relationships, contributed to the assessment of different projects.
Changing gears a little bit, back to Chalk River and the nuclear labs, because I think that is the most pressing issue right now in the nuclear community in Canada. Regarding the new GOCO contract to manage the Canadian nuclear laboratories, what requirements for Canadian content were there to ensure that American companies managing one of the Canadians' most important scientific assets will be maximized for the benefit of Canada?
Mr. Chair, maybe I could just take a step back. This contract was run by ACL, which is a Crown Corporation, independent agency with this independent board. They ran a competitive procurement process, and it was their ACL's decision on whether to award the contract or not based upon the results of that competitive process.
But the government of Canada could step involved if it was a foreign entity that risks our sovereignty and some of our technology. The Canadian government could step in.
This is run by ACL according to their requirements, but yeah.
So there's nothing the government can do to stop Americans from taking over our nuclear labs, which I have a hard time believing that to be true. I'll cede my time to Jonathan Rose, please.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Oh, sure.
I would like to move the following motion that was put on notice on October 17th, 2025. The notice of motion is of Shannon Stubbs, MP, Friday, October 17th, 2025. That pursuant to Standing Order 1082, the committee undertake a study of the decision of Atomic Energy of Canada Limited, AECL, and the Liberal government to award a contract reportedly worth $1.2 billion per year to a consortium entirely composed of U.S. companies to manage Canadian nuclear laboratories, and for the purpose of the study, schedule no fewer than 3 meetings, invite the Minister of Natural Resources to appear by himself for 1 hour, to invite appropriate officials from AECL, including Fred Dermarker, President and CEO, invite appropriate officials from Natural Resources Canada, invite appropriate officials from the Treasury Board Secretariat, and invite other witness the committee deems appropriate, and order the production of all memoranda, briefing notes, emails, text messages, instant messages, records of conversations, and any other relevant documents related to this decision in the possession of AECL, Natural Resources Canada, any minister's office, the Treasury Board, Secretariat, the Privy Council office, and the Prime Minister's office, and that these documents are to be submitted to the clerk of the committee in both official languages and without redaction within 3 weeks of the adoption of this motion. I'm not going to read it in French just to spare the embarrassment of myself.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rowe. Colleagues, this is up for discussion, as you know, and we're going to start with Mr. Tucker, followed by Mr. Gay, and then Mr. Danko.
Thank you, Chair. And just for the committee, this is what we've heard today. I think a little bit of a cover-up. We have an all-American group that is going to be in charge of our nuclear labs in Canada. So of all the research and all the technology breakthroughs that we've done with medical isotopes, all the concerns we have with, such as the Competition Bureau has investigated that this would create a monopoly on our medical isotopes, and it would be controlled by another country is something that I think all Canadians should be alarmed about. And we have heard that this can't be stopped, or and this is AECL's hands. It's nothing to do with the government, but these are taxpayers' dollars. This is Canadian technology that is about to be transferred to Americans to manage, and for their benefit, not ours. So I think that in itself is worth the study, along with the other points that this study would get into. And we don't know how much this is cost. It's a big black hole. They won't tell us. Is it $1 billion? Is it $2 billion a year? We heard earlier today the minister wasn't concerned, or there was no taxpayers' cost for the delay in the handover of this management contract. But through whistleblowers and through sources have said that there's tens of millions of dollars that is on the line, or it has been rushed to get approval to be a stopgap in between the American takeover and the Canadians that are running it right now. So a little bit concerning. We have such as hot cells that can't be just walked away from, and we have contractors that are now being ordered or asked to continue on with some of the operations for the safety. How much are those contractors getting paid? So when the ministers say there's no additional charges for this delay, that's patently false. And back to what do they do at Canadian laboratories is, well, it's our cutting edge research into nuclear technologies. And we've heard, I'm grateful that this government, or now recently this government has found the benefit of nuclear and has spoke kind words about how this is a strategic resource for Canada, but that strategic resource is built at Canadian laboratories, and we're giving that away to American companies to manage, which I think has significant implications to our energy security, to our medical isotope sovereignty, and to the future of nuclear research in Canada. And the study, I've been on a notice motion.
What's your point of order, Mr. Gay?
It's a question. I'm not experienced in committee.
Right.
How long is Mr. Tucker going to go on like this?
He has the floor. And
For how long?
This is in order.
I will be wrapping up. I got a minute
How
left
long
in
he
my
wants?
comments.
Okay.
He's
So,
going to wrap up.
No, it's a minute, and we'll see how long others would
Okay,
like to speak to
let's
this.
colleagues order. Let's Mr. Tucker, why don't you finish up?
Well, I do have the floor, and I'm going to be talking just on the importance of Chalk River and the nuclear labs, and having it taken over by an American company, allowed by a government that claims to be elbows up, is a travesty. And then we do find out that the Prime Minister, Mark Carney, has shares in one of the companies that is taking over this. Does alarm bells. This is something that is worthy of a study, and I can't imagine anyone in this committee not agreeing with this study to go forward after the forestry study wraps up. There's no reason why Canadians are asking for these answers, and we need to hear directly from AECL on this travesty that is taking place. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker. Okay, Mr. Gay, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. ACL right now is in a competitive bidding process to issue its contract, and the process was done independently from the government. The contract's now being reviewed by the Competition Bureau, which ensures that contracts are in the best interest of Canada. This review by the Competition Bureau is done independently from politicians, whether Liberal, Bloc, or Conservative. And so, for me, the Conservative motion would interfere with this process. And I call on my Conservative colleagues from the committee to respect the independence of the Competition Bureau and its review of the contract. And I have no problem doing a study in the future on atomic energy and the role of Chalk River and all of that. But I think we need to respect that, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Danko.
Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Chair, on the point of order.
Yeah. Yes, what is your point of order?
I was wondering if we could release our witnesses?
Yeah, that's not a point of order, but colleagues, do I have your colleagues? Can we let our witnesses go? It looks like this is going to go on for a little bit. Yeah, we're okay letting our witnesses go. Thank you for that suggestion, Mr. McKinnon. Wasn't a point of order, but it was a point of courtesy. Yes, go ahead.
I just want to make sure that the witnesses understand that because of this, they may have to come back.
Well,
Yeah.
if the committee so wishes, we can, if the committee so wishes, we can call them back. Absolutely. Yes. And this is their second time here. I know they love this committee as much as we do. Okay, so thank you, Mr. McKinnon. Mr. Danko.
Thank you, Chair. So I previously served on municipal council for nearly 7 years. And one of the most difficult things that it's taking me to get used to is the conservative tactic of lying with impunity under the
Mr. Danko, you know that's not parliamentary language, so please.
falsifying information under the impunity of parliamentary privilege.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just Mr. Danko, if you would refrain from using that word, I think the whole committee would be grateful. But please continue.
Thank you. So I also spent 20 years in construction as a structural engineer, and most of that time avoiding legal action, as well as my role on council. And I find like these tactics of stating these outrageous conspiracy theories under the protection of parliamentary privilege is really cowardly. And I would encourage all Conservative members to grow a pair and say what you say in committee outside.
Mr. Danko, please, parliamentary language, please. Yeah, and yeah. Okay, colleagues, let's have some order. But Mr. Danko, let's if you could get to your major point, that'd be appreciated by all of us.
That would be my point. Thank you.
Mr. Hoback, Mr. Tucker.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. You know, I'm just stepping into this committee for the last half hour here, just looking at what's going on, and I'm kind of amazed that if you think that this is all a hoax and there's nothing there, then you should agree with the motion and actually come through, and then the committee will actually have a chance to deal with it. If they want to cleanse their name and their reputation, that's the best place to do it, and let the witnesses bring forward. You think it's a conspiracy theory, well, bring your witness in and let them look at it and dispense it. But to make accusations based on what? Your own conspiracy theories is totally unprofessional. To insult your fellow members on the committee is totally unprofessional. There was no apology given, Mr. Danko, which I find totally unprofessional. For someone who's been in municipal council, you should understand that there's places that you can and can't go across. I've been here 17 years. I have never insulted a Liberal member like that in my life. I never would. There is a level of professionalism that usually shows up in the committees, and you've broken that level of professionalism, and I do expect an apology. I do. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Hoback. We have Mr. Tucker and
Yes.
no other speakers after that. Oh, Mr. Hogan.
So thank you, Chair. And it was referred to this as this competitive bid process, and we can't get involved. Well, it's done. It was awarded. So we are investigating why billions of Canadian taxpayers' money is going to flow to American companies that has no safeguards, that our technology and our secrets will be used for the benefit of a different country. And we talk in lengths in this committee and in the chamber about looking out for Canadians' best interest. And I'm asking for 3 meetings to investigate how this travesty has occurred, that there's no Canadian component. And we heard the rationale, well, there's Canadian employees. Well, they work for American companies. And we know that there's other concerns about when American companies have associated with our data being stored in American servers in foreign countries and demanding access to those secrets. The technology drain we could be talking as much as this contract is in the billions. We could be also talking in billions of dollars of technologies that the Canadians have paid for that should be for our benefit, that is just getting out of the cover of the night, swept away into servers located in the States. So what we're asking for is some answers, some accountability on how this happened. How did only American companies win a tender to manage the Canadian laboratories in Canada? And those answers, I believe, have to come under oath from the Minister of Natural Resources himself. We also heard a little bit that, oh, we can't touch this. This is an outside organization, being AECL. Well, it's taxpayers' money that pays for this contract and those workers. So, yeah, it does happen in this committee that we should be able to ask the questions on value for Canadian taxpayers' money when we know that it is just going to be paid for by American companies. And officials from Natural Resources Canada should be also at this committee. And on top of this all is the Treasury Board Secretary, because once again, there's thresholds of money. We're not talking $16 glasses of orange juices. We're talking $1.2 billion contracts. Think of all the troubles we have in Canada, how many millions of people have lined up at food banks, and right now we're stroking a check annually for $1 billion to American companies to manage our labs. I think something stinks here. Then we find out that some of the ownership structures of these companies. These are questions that I think Canadians should be asking. What is happening in Ottawa? Why are we running out of money? Is because we have billions of dollars going to contracts such as this. And the documents that we're asking for are basic documents that would shed light on this. And for weeks, we've been blocked on this motion. This motion was put on notice on October 17th. And it's taken until today to see the light of day. And as long as I'm a member on this committee, I'll keep bringing this up. I'll keep fighting to find the answers on what is happening with Canadian taxpayers' dollars.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker. Mr. Hogan.
I thank you, Chair. Look, this is a highly integrated sector. There's incredible strength here in Canada. There's incredible strength of Canadian companies in the United States, of United States companies here as well. And ownership and benefit flow on both sides of the border have for literally decades, since the creation of nuclear energy. And we have our problems right now with the United States, but they are still a friend and ally. Many of us have relatives down there. We have friends down there. We have connections far and wide. And rhetoric has gotten a little superheated here. Words like cover-up are a bit silly. Suggestions anyone is running out of money, particularly the government of Canada, the strongest balance sheet in the G7, it's a bit unserious. So, look, we're currently in a forestry study. It's a very important study, as the opposition was discussing even last meeting. This is a long-standing crisis that needs to be addressed and addressed with seriousness. It is my opinion this is not the time to address this motion. It is not a motion I would currently support. I would like to finish the forestry study, and perhaps then we can take up consideration of that motion. So, for that reason, I move to adjourn debate.
Motion is in order, colleagues, and clerk, would you call the vote?
Mr. Danko. Yay. Mr. Gay.
Yay.
Mr. Hogan.
Yay.
Mr. McKinnon. Mr. Hoback.
No.
Monsieur Martel.
No.
Mr. Rowe.
Nope.
Mr. Tucker.
No.
Monsieur Smart.
Okay, so debate is adjourned.